What if everything we believed is completely wrong? We all saw Christine Brown leave her history in the dust. We rooted for her as the survivor, the one who at last had her fairy tale ending. We rooted her on, we bought the story, and we hollered every milestone as her victory lap. But let's get this, what if that victory lap is more like a war cry than a celebration? Every guffawing selfie, every Valentine's holiday weekend, every intentionally staged holiday picture, what if they're not exactly pictures of joy? What if they're carefully chosen rounds in a standard, systematic campaign against the very family she deserted? Today, we're putting Christine Brown's story under the microscope. Not to question her joy, but to ask the real question, is this true love and freedom, or is it the most brilliant act of revenge reality TV has ever seen? Welcome to Sister Wives Real News. If you're hungry for deep dives, behind-the-scenes theories, and the kind of analysis you won't see anywhere else, then hit that like button immediately. It tells YouTube to continue serving up this content directly to you. And if you're not already part of the crew, subscribe and ring that bell, because believe me, you won't want to miss what we're about to uncover. Alright, get your coffee, sit back. Court is in session. Now, before we can dissect the here and now, we need to understand why. Why would Christine, a woman who has seemingly everything she ever desired, perhaps be engaged in a secret war of the mind? To discover that, we need to travel back in time. Let's travel back to those basement wife days. It was not just a derogatory nickname. It was Christina's own self-adoption, acknowledgement of years of invisibility, devaluing, and bottom rung in the family pecking order. Down in Lehigh, she literally lived in the basement. While Meri occupied upstairs, and Janelle had her own room, Christine downstairs shared space with 6 children in chaos and secrecy. Her own words were the evidence. On camera, she confessed jealousy was eating away at her, that hearing Cody go up to another wife was a gut punch. Repeatedly, she spoke to us directly, I was the basement wife. Forgotten. Underappreciated. Disregarded. But the move to Las Vegas didn't change her reality, it merely reopened the wound. It is where her foundation trauma, the origin of today's whole case, was set in stone. Exhibit A, Cody's public declaration of lost attraction. On national television, in front of millions of people, Cody broke the news to Christine that he was no longer interested in her. Not only did he admit it in private life, but he staked claim to it publicly. Imagine the devastation, 25 plus years of marriage, 6 children with her, and then there goes she. She was suddenly diminished, not a wife, but a roommate, a caregiver, an extra cast member in her own life. And at the center of all that painful contrast? Robin. As Christine was withheld, Robin became the wife with intimacy intact, with affection intact. Every tear Robin shed for not enough time with Cody was, to Christine, another bruise, a reminder that she was not offered the very thing that made her a commodity as a wife. The nanny showdown. This is the time that's notorious for a reason. Christine, who had mothered not only her 6 children but helped with 12 other children, was suddenly informed that she couldn't travel to Cody and Robin's property during COVID lockdowns. But the nanny? She commuted back and forth at will. Her what does the nanny do? Implies not a job question. It implies a belly scream. It was, what does she have that I don't? Why is another person in the circle of my husband's life, and I, his many years' wife, at the door? Cody and Robin said nothing. The nanny was required. Christine wasn't. These were not soap opera moments. These were cracks in Christina's foundation, boils after years of being told she wasn't enough, not pretty enough, not cooperative enough, not worthy enough of authentic love. So, having endured that kind of pain for more than a decade, when she finally does manage to get out from underneath it, what does she do? Does she quietly heal in the shadows? Or does she take damn good care that everyone who questioned her gets a ringside seat to see her become an entirely different woman? And that, gentlemen and ladies, is the essence of our argument. The suffering is the incentive. Now let us speak of the supposed crime, the victory lap. Christina's past was documented tragedy. her future. An orchestrated victory, and she's broadcasting it around the clock. Her Instagram flipped overnight. The tight, miserable family photos were forgotten. Suddenly, there were endless storms of bright smiles, happy escapades, sun-kissed love. Every photo breathed the same truth, see me now. And the final stamp of approval? The wedding. This wasn't a small, private ceremony. It was a televised spectacle, a two-part TLC event. Unlike the awkward, polygamy-tinged brown family weddings we'd seen before, this was the fairy tale ending Christine had always been denied. A traditional, monogamous celebration, broadcast for everyone, including her old family, to witness. The question left to us is this one: is Christine living the best version of herself, or are all instances of her public happiness a precision shot in a war she keeps fighting? Christina's wedding was more than a celebration of love. It was a public rejection of the life she'd left behind. All of her assurances to David served to highlight how empty her assurances to Cody had become. Every warm, loving look from her new husband revealed years of abandonment she was compelled to suffer through. And the evidence of this new life did not stop at the altar of her nuptials. Christine has meticulously documented her new start. The fairy tale Disney holidays, the romantic English weekend, the Nashville date nights, and the cuddly, loving family Thanksgiving starkly contrast the cold, tense holidays we used to get to see on the show. She's not just living in the past, she is sending a message: my life didn't end after I left Cody. It finally began. Her financial freedom is proof as well. Christina's control has increased tenfold. She and Janelle reign supreme in the world of MLM, flying around the globe, collecting bonuses, and setting financial security unmatched during Cody's regime. And to it all, her sponsorships on food and lifestyle. For the first time in her life, she is financially independent alone. Thrives, flourishes, and is free from baggage. In a family where Cody complained about money constantly, Christina's wealth is an ears-piercing confirmation: I don't need you. And in fact, I am better off without you. Christina's supporters contend that she is merely living well and providing a glimpse of what it is to the fans who have stood by her throughout, to the fans who have remained supportive throughout. That can be true. There is another side to this, however. Is she merely showing off her happiness, or is she marketing it? Is living well different from making your ex, his favorite wife, and the whole world witness you live well every single day? This not about happiness. This about pretending. And that pretending has had consequences. It's changed the family behind. We move to the side of the story never seen on TLC, the event that fueled the fire. According to insider accounts, the actual tipping point was not when Christine left. It was regarding her wedding invitation. The theory is that Christine did not officially, personally invite Cody and Robin. She invited them along with some of the older children via group text. The invitation was for the reception, not the wedding ceremony. At face value, the statement was gracious and magnanimous. Something to the effect that, as we begin our new lives, I'd like to extend an invitation to you both to come and share in the celebration in our reception. My new life is a life of forgiveness and love, and in the spirit thereof, you're welcome to join us. But, per sources, Cody and Robin did not receive this as an olive branch. They perceived it as an attack. Robin's reaction, we're told, was panic. She allegedly messaged Cody that Christine was setting a trap. If they went, the media would twist it. If they didn't, they would look like villains. She feared Christine was using the kids as pawns. Cody's assumed reaction was anger. He reportedly sent that it was the biggest disrespect he'd ever seen. That she was dancing on the deathbed of their clan. That this wasn't about forgiveness, it was about parading. And he swore he would never be a player in the Christine and David show. If true, the implication of this invitation is just the reverse. It was not a real one. It was a chess opening. If they did arrive, they would be battered and humiliated, forced to smile as Christine gets the fairy tale finale Robin once brayed about. Or else, Christine could triumph that she took a shot, she forgave, and they spurned her. Either, Christine was in control of the script. This scene reverses all that. It suggests Christina's overtures were not entirely celebratory, she was strategizing. It accounts for the bitterness which we now see from Cody and Robin. To them, Christine is not merely living her best life. She is weaponizing her happiness. Each Instagram post, each smiling holiday picture, each smiling selfie with Janelle and the kids, each thing they see as yet another reminder of what Christine built and what Robin could never give. A happy family group, free from jealousy and dysfunction. Christine Brown, is she a genius master manipulator of opinions, a mastermind, or a woman whose happiness is being warped by an angry ex and his wife? The facts seem to go either way. And that leads us to the court battle, empowerment versus provocation. We've discussed the background. We've talked about so-called invitation trap. Now, let's have a listen to opening arguments in the People vs. Christine Brown case. The prosecution begins with the calculated provocation theory. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, they say, take a look at evidence. This is not the behavior of someone muddling along quietly. This is the behavior of one who wants to win. The tidal wave of smiling posts is not for Christine, it's for Cody. She knows the soft spot there, his pride, and his fear of what others will think. So, she builds a competitive empire with David and Janelle as her co-conspirators. She takes vacation photos to look warmer, bigger, and more real than Robin and Cody ever have a chance of getting. And the invite. Not an olive branch, but a weapon. A tactic meant to make Cody and Robin the bad guys whether they attended or not. The prosecution believes that Christine is not healing, she's taking revenge. Every laugh, every kiss, every update is not joy on its own. It's revenge. Revenge as calculating and chilling as it is powerful. Christine Brown, they say, is no victim. She is a manipulator waging war in the court of public opinion. And she is winning. It's a good argument. But the prosecution has an entirely different picture. The defense retorts, the prosecution is attempting to put happiness in the dock. Christine is not guilty of provocation, she is only guilty of being alive. She suffered 25 years of neglect, jealousy, and humiliation. She begged for love and was refused. She begged for respect and mocked. Her pain was not a secret. It was to millions. And now, all these years later, after all the pain and swallowing silence, Christine has loved. She has built a new life, a life where she is loved, respected, and at peace. The defense asks, why should her happiness be used as evidence of crime? To them, her existence online is not incitement, it's inspiration. Evidence that despite all these years of pain and silence, there can be freedom. And what of the offer of forgiveness? The defense argues that this was no setup. It could very easily have been a genuine overture. Christine, now free, may have wanted to forgive. If Cody and Robin interpreted it thus, that is more a reflection on their paranoid tendencies than hers. They are so used to poison that they expect poison in honey. Christine Brown isn't stirring anything up, they say. She is just being. If her joy pains Cody and Robin, it is because it shines light on their lack of accomplishment, not because she is evil. Don't punish the survivor for being too loud. Her victory lap isn't revenge. It is the shattering of chains. Two explanations. Two flat-out incompatible versions of the same set of facts. One of a master manipulator exacting revenge. The other of a victim whose happiness is being turned around on her. Where does the truth come in? That, we turn to the witnesses. Janelle. Meri. And most telling of all, the children. Their testimony, their choices, their allegiances, these will be the deciding factor here in this trial. Well, leave it there for today. Go on over to the comments and let us know, are you Team Provocation, or Team Empowerment? Is Christine a revenge planner, or a survivor who caught a break? Make sure you're subscribed, with the bell on, because in the next session we're calling Janelle, Meri, and the kids to the stand. We'll explore reports of a secret family meeting gone terribly wrong, and we'll deliver our final ruling. Is Christine building peace, or fueling a fire that will never burn out? Court is back soon again. We've set the stage. We've presented our cases. And then there are the witnesses whose testimony can turn everything around. And now, crew, we look beyond the facade and provide you with the truth between the lines of what we're witnessing on TV. Ready, because evidence that we're going to present has the potential to change fundamentally the way that you're watching this family drama. It is what they do not say that we learn the most about what really is inside a person. That is why we're calling forward our next set of witnesses, not those who have already testified against her, but those whose actions and inactions might speak louder to Christina's intentions than anything she has ever subjected herself to. Witness 1, Janelle Brown, the co-conspirator. Headlining on stage first is Janelle Brown. And let me caution you, she's hardly a supporting actress in Christina's new play. She's a co-star. Some might even call her a co-conspirator. Janelle's split with Cody was low-key, orchestrated in relation to Christina's. But her turn after that? Anything but subtle. She didn't leave Cody in the dust, she walked right up to Christine. She came into Christina's life, became a part of Christine and David's family, and Christina's new family welcomed her children with open arms. They are one big family, one that is healthier and happier than the one Cody and Robin are still struggling to keep intact. Each photo Christine snaps and forwards to Janelle is greater than a snap. It's a declaration. A very real one that shouts, "We were the workhorses of this family, we carried the load, and now we're thriving in your absence. We don't require a head honcho. We have ourselves." Defense frames this as a sweet story of sisterhood and survival, two women fleeing dysfunction and rising stronger together. But the prosecution names it something darker. One theory insiders whisper, the Plexus Pact. The theory is that Christine and Janelle's departure wasn't an overnight sensation, it was a multi-year conspiracy. Plexus became their cash-out-of-jail-free card. They grabbed power and stealth by diverting commissions and bonuses into accounts beyond Cody's control. While Cody remained stranded on Coyote Pass and family finances catastrophically bad, they constructed their own life raft in stealth. Think about this, how did Janelle, who typically professed to live on tight budgets, come to suddenly pay for an RV, continuous travel, and her own house? How did Christine purchase such a beautiful house in Utah prior to the sale of the Flagstaff house? In Plexus Pact theory, it's simple, strategy. Their smile today is not mere joy, it's triumph. Their friendship is not mere friendship, it's celebration of an accomplished mission. And if this theory is valid, Christina's war was not merely in the heart. It was in the pocket. With Janelle as her biggest cheerleader. Witness 2, Meri Brown, the silent juror. And then there's Meri Brown, the quiet specter in all of this. Her testimony isn't in what she says, but in what she doesn't say. Meri has put etiquette congratulations on social media to Christine, but they are of the acting variety, not the real variety. She has not come over to visit Christine in her new house. She did not attend the wedding. She is not in Christina's group or Cody and Robin's. The defense argues this is simply Meri's personal journey. That her decades-long, complicated marriage to Cody left wounds that make her distance understandable. But the prosecution sees her silence as something else entirely, damning testimony. Meri represents the old order, the keep sweet, stay loyal, pray for change mindset that Christine shattered when she walked away. Her lingering loyalty to Cody makes Christine's freedom look like betrayal. And yet, her visible unhappiness validates Christine's misery. Meri's loneliness is a haunting exhibit of what happens when someone waits too long for love that will never come. But silence can also carry envy. Christine has found the very same things Meri wanted, blind love, public adoration, and a Cinderella marriage. Every time Christine posts a picture of her new life, it's a painful reminder to Meri of what she lost. The alienation of Meri and the Christine Janelle group proves once and for all that so-called sisterhood wasn't about friendship. It was about surviving with a common husband. And when that husband was removed from her life, Christine and Janelle began again, without Meri. Meri's absence speaks volumes. She is the embodiment of what Christine escaped, and perhaps the clearest reminder that freedom comes with a cost. Meri's silence leaves us with one haunting conclusion: there is no peaceful coexistence here. Only fractured alliances and lingering feuds. She is the juror who refuses to read the verdict aloud, but her expression already delivers it: guilty. Witness 3, the children, collateral joy and collateral damage. No witness testifies more loudly, more strongly, than the children. They are the spoils and victims of this war. And don't think they aren't, their loyalty is plain. They are public, open, and clearly polarized. To Christina's camp belong the OG-13, the collectively gathered children of Christine, Janelle, and Meri. Their allegiance to Christine and Janelle is not just strong but loud-mouthed rebellious. Case in point, take Paydon Brown. He's become Christina's bully, making vicious judgments of Cody and Robin in interviews and TikToks. Michaelty and Aspen, on the other hand, stood tall in support of Christine on her wedding day, anointing David as they shut down Cody's own poor behavior in their confessionals. Gwendolyn Brown became fact-checker on the scene, using her YouTube channel to fact-check, call out hypocrisies, and validate Christina's account. Janelle's kids, Logan, Hunter, Garrison, Gabe, and Savannah, was another powerful story. Estrangement from Cody, particularly public defiance by Gabe and Garrison, is as harsh as it is psychological. Public loyalty to Christine, showing up for her holidays and celebrations, is the best denial of their father they could offer. To the defense, it is unequivocal proof that Christina's joy is empowering, not inciting. They argue it has provided her children freedom from the toxic bonds of her children's father's control. But then we look to Cody and Robin's corner. The tender-aged children, Dayton, Aurora, Brianna, Solomon, and Ariella. They are far more out of sight, missing the large family get-togethers, living almost alone in isolation in Cody and Robin's small, isolated home. Cody has used them as his shield, insisting that his focus must remain on the kids who still look up to him. But it presents a devastating picture, a father essentially turning his children against one another. And now, crew, we have our last insider report, one we've been covertly working to confirm. We'll refer to it as the failed intervention. Somewhere between the time Christine became engaged but before the wedding, some of the older children, headed by peacemakers Aspen and Logan, attempted to arrange a family-wide Zoom meeting. The goal was not to reunite Cody and Christine. It was nothing but a call for decency, a truce in honor of future grandkids and family functions. But what was meant to be peace turned into disaster. Cody is quoted to have received the call as an ambush, faulting the older children for being Christina's flying monkeys. He was insisting on an apology, however, not to him, to Robin, alleging that she was unjustly slandered. Robin, as reported, wept on the call, explaining that Christina's new reality and the children's allegiance to it were erasing Robin and her children from family records. The call concluded in chaos, Cody yelling by accounts, slamming the laptop shut and disconnecting with several of his own children. If so, it's a shocker. It attests that the war has intensified on every level of time in the family tree. Christina's innocence, whether real or feigned, has been a catalyst, forcing each child to choose sides. These children are not innocent bystanders. They are reluctant soldiers in a war they never enlisted. Judgment, a war of stories. We've now heard the witnesses. Janelle's strategic alliance. Meri's silence. The children's fractured loyalties. Together, they paint a picture not of peace, but of a family system already broken long before Christine walked away. Because what we're seeing here isn't merely a family scandal. It is a war story. Cody and Robin had dictated the terms for years. They presented the Browns as a working, albeit imperfect, plural family moving toward an ideal that was sacred. And Christine? She was relegated to being jealous, snappish, or catty when she pushed back. But when Christine left, she didn't just pack up her stuff, she hijacked the story. With TLC cuts and clever social media, she rebooted from the basement wife to the triumphant hero. She was David now, Cody was Goliath. Every photo, every update, every smile, a page in a story the viewer can't help but cheer. Meanwhile, Cody and Robin ride high. On TV, they appear bitter, defensive, and paranoid. Cody's tirades regarding loyalty and patriarchy serve only to alienate more viewers against such. Robin's crying over a lost family dream does not impress in front of an audience who saw decades of disruption. They are the fairy tale villains for Christine now, and they cannot rewrite their scripts. And then there's the meat of the matter, the charge that Christine is being unreasonably cheerful. But look at it this way. Too cheerful, or too skilled at spinning her yarn? The answer is probably extremely much this. Cody and Robin aren't reacting to Christina's cheerfulness itself. They're reacting to her storytelling skill. Her happiness isn't happiness, it's her best defense. Because it destroys the story Cody and Robin told themselves, and the world, and clung to for years. Her peace thwarts their disorder as Cody's cleverness. Her new work family thwarts their dysfunctional family model. And her new work family disproves the issue was polygamy, the other wives, it was Cody. That's the ultimate provocation. Christine doesn't have to fight. She doesn't have to throw shade. By simply breathing in joy, she proves them wrong with every smile, every holiday photo, every well-adjusted breath she takes. The final verdict. We've examined the motive. We've analyzed the evidence. We've heard the witness testimonies and dissected the insider reports. Now it's time for this court to deliver its ruling. We considered 3 options for the Brown family today. A lasting peace. A tense truce. Slight feuds. On overwhelming evidence, this court rules out options A and C. There is no peace. There is no truce. The verdict in the case of the People vs. Christine Brown remains, slight feuds. But let's be precise about what this is actually saying. This decision does not say Christina's happiness is not real. It does not say that secretly she is bad. What the court is saying is that her empowerment is real, her happiness is real, and her victory lap is in order. What the judgment does admit is a cruel reality. In a system that has failed, all of our health represents a danger to those who remain unwell. Christine is not battling at physical levels, but her choices, her marriage, her support of Janelle, her understanding of the tale, are assertively imposing herself upon Cody and Robin's sensitive egos. She is winning a war she doesn't even realize that she's fighting. Her purpose is to empower, but her impact is to incite. She is the most potent rejection of Cody and Robin's world. And within a family built on silence and seething anger, that rejection is the most searing of all. The betrayal reimagined, a final bombshell. But there is one last theory that needs to catch our attention before we're done. A theory that flips the real betrayal at the heart of this soap opera on its head. For years, we've believed that the great betrayal was Christine leaving Cody. But what if it wasn't? What if the true betrayal had nothing to do with love, but money? It was then that the Plexus Pact theory haunts us again with a deadly new twist. According to insiders, Christine and Janelle did not merely plan an escape fund, they began constructing economic cushions well in advance of Flagstaff relocation. Remember, which 2 wives most opposed leaving Las Vegas? Christine and Janelle. They loved the cul-de-sac, the security, the camaraderie. Cody and Robin were in favor of leaving. And what ensued? Economic chaos. Erase the hypothesis. When Christine and Janelle realized they were being drawn into a catastrophic decision they weren't both invested in, they promised. They would comply on the surface but secretly begin to stash away their money, accumulating commissions, bonuses, and profit to give their children an exit. Not an escape fund from resentment. A survival fund out of desperation. If that's the case, then Cody's anger isn't about love or loyalty. It's all money. In his own mind, Christine and Janelle didn't leave him. They left the family fortune at its most vulnerable point. They allowed him to invest in Coyote Pass while they built life rafts of their own. And then, suddenly, his complaining about their lack of effort is comprehensible. He wasn't griping about effort. He was griping about money. To Cody, this isn't heartbreak, it's theft. He doesn't see himself as jilted husband. He sees himself as a CEO whose best business collaborators took out and wiped out the company. That betrayal explains the anger. Not love not reciprocated. Not allegiance lost. But money betrayal. The closing question. And so we are back where we began. Christina's story, victory lap, or new friction? Answer, both. She is indeed herself, healthy for sure. But her recovery has ignited like gasoline poured on the Brown family divisions. Her enthusiasm spreads from her, but Cody and Robin it seems ablaze consuming the last remnants of their collective past. And so, team, leave us with one final question. Does public happiness heal or inflame? What Christina's story teaches us is this: joy can be a healing flame for the one who finds it. But for those left shivering over there in the cold, that same flame is ablaze, charring the earth behind it and leaving scars that will never heal. And that is our case. Court adjourned. If you're reading this, then you're part of the real crew. Leave your judgment in the comments. Are you pro-empowerment or pro-provocation? And don't forget, subscribe, ring that bell, and send this off to another fan who needs to see it. Because next time, we're going deep. And trust me, you won't be wanting to skip it.